You are live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. I'm Nathan, as always, joined by James. What's made you happy in the last week, James?
Can I say MIFF?
Yeah, you've been here. You've been attending MIFF in person for the rest of us who couldn't make it. Yeah, I mean, that's a very valid answer.
Yeah.
You've been off work, having a good time watching movies.
Yeah, that's what I love to do.
Yep. Also joined by Callum this week. Callum's in Mackay again for work, so he's not joining us. But we have Callum here as well. What's made you happy in the last week?
I blew all my money, had a midlife crisis, and bought a MacBook. That's given me some. I've been using it every day, really enjoying it. It's a brand new shiny toy.
Valid. As for what's made me happy, I don't know. I guess movies with the boys, or specifically, I had a Maxi Bond vanilla slice flavored ice cream.
Before we turned on the mics, you guys told me about that, and I was like, well, now I have to get one.
We're not sponsored, but it was a delicious ice cream.
Vanilla slice is like one of the greatest
one of the greatest confections. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's just something small that made me happy, but there you go.
Small and tasty.
Yeah, that's it. We'll move straight along. James has got some, I guess, MIFF coverage. And
first, very quickly, we're almost at 100 subscribers on the YouTube, so make sure you're liked and subscribed to that. We just want to try and get to 100 before the end of the year. So you don't even have to watch the videos. Just press subscribe and then don't turn on notifications. Just doesn't take anything to subscribe. I guess moving on to last week, I wasn't here. I was watching MIFF movies, but you guys talked about what did you talk about? There were like 2 or 3 movies.
We talked about the Golden
Spurtle, which is actually surprisingly one of the better movies I saw.
Do you agree with me and Callum that it has almost like a Wes Anderson kind of edge? If Wes Anderson was to make a documentary, this is the kind of thing he would make one about. It's got this
like cute little village, and then there's like very symmetrical,
very colourful,
and these like kind of strange characters.
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe about it.
Yeah, it was
whimsical.
Very whimsical and very wholesome.
Yeah.
So that was really good. We Bury the Dead I didn't love, but I appreciated it was different. Different, more, I think Callum said, like more like emotional, psychological take on like a zombie genre. And honestly, even with the limited budget that they probably had, does a lot better.
It looks nice
in like than big Hollywood movies that we've seen.
Yeah.
There are moments where the camera pans out, and on probably like $5 and a prayer, they did better than whatever Marvel or DC was doing with like $300 million. So shout out to them for that.
My only concern is, I don't know if you agree or not.
Oh, the filming location, yeah.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, look, I understand they probably got incentives to film in Western Australia, even though it was set in Tassie. But you can kind of tell it's not set on the Green Isle.
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
It doesn't ruin the movie or anything.
Doesn't, but American audiences aren't going to notice.
No, it's a small nitpick, but it's a nitpick that could have been avoided if they just changed the location.
Where's Pine Gap?
That's in like Northern Territory, Central Australia.
Yeah, but I guess then that would be full desert, so they couldn't. Yeah. But I was because it's an American experiment gone wrong.
Yeah, they could have done it off the coast of Western Australia.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
this is a minor nitpick. It's still a great movie. Go watch it. Go buy it if it comes down on Blu-ray. Go support it. Go see it in theaters. But why not just set it in Western Australia?
Maybe because of the event that happens, like they wanted to locate it just isolated. So they're like,
you can argue that WA is isolated enough.
It is, yeah, and also like if the shockwave or whatever stops after a certain point, then it won't.
Right at the border.
Yeah, then it won't affect like all of Australia. I mean, but it could have been. It could. I mean, that would have been maybe a bit different movie where it's like even a larger area of effect. But anyway, it wasn't a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal. It's a minor nitpick.
Yeah, a lot of movies are shot not where they're set.
I did like the teeth gnashing was uncomfortable.
Yeah. The zombies were well done.
They were well done.
Yeah. And the grave scene that Cal mentioned last week was also really good. And you also talked about Chain Reactions, the documentary.
This is a bugbear of mine, something that gets up my nose.
Yeah, so you and Callum especially weren't particularly fond of it.
Half of it. It depends on the guest of this. There was a couple that were really
there's five.
good.
It's not a documentary about the making of the film or the history of it.
Yeah.
It's just 5 different people and their
reactions
to how Texas Chainsaw Massacre affected them. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was quite good. I think the way you guys were describing it to me and describing it on the show last week, you were overstating the sort of theorizing and the way, like, you made it seem like it's 90 minutes of people going like, oh, actually, Tobe Hooper made this because it's about the atom bomb and the chainsaw represents the Hiroshima. And I'm like,
in retrospect, I'm
like, what are these guys talking about?
I'll pay that.
It's 5 different people with 5 different perspectives. Some of those perspectives have theories which were perfectly valid, and they didn't waffle on for the whole documentary about it. And then I found it especially hypocritical that Callum was like, yeah, these people are ridiculous, saying things that Tobe Hooper can't defend because he's not here. And then he goes on to make this whole speech about how Weapons is actually about school shootings, and that it doesn't matter what the director, Zach Kreger, says.
To me, that has some merit in
Oh, no, I 100% agree with you.
That's not like, that's like a thing you can research very quickly.
Yeah, but the interpretations
I see the point James is making, where it's kind of like, in one hand, we're saying Weapons has this subtext, even though the director specifically says it doesn't, the writer specifically says it doesn't, and we're not letting those other people in Chain Reactions have
their
a viewpoint.
Perfectly valid, which also ties into, like, a lot of what we do on the show and being like, oh, this is, I mean, and art and the death of the author and all that. But also, like, that's the whole point. One of the things you guys were talking about last week was like, oh, it doesn't have a thesis. It doesn't have a central theme or goal. And I was like, yes, it does. It's 5 different reactions, 5 different interpretations, 5 different ways the movie changed these people's lives. And it was, for me, one of the reasons I really liked it. Another reason is because I thought it looked good. Like, it wasn't just a talking heads the end, what do you call it?
It had a good use of
archival.
It had a good use of archival.
Like, it was actually like shot well
put together.
And the interviews were on these like sets and stuff and whatever. And it also had cool extended and outtakes and stuff from the movie. Which
I did like the scenes where it would show you different versions of the movie. Like, you saw like a VHS version in Australia that had a specific color grade.
And that's part of like the people talking about how they experience it for the first time, whether it was on TV or VHS or at the cinema. It looks
different for different people.
Exactly,
and how
that informs their relationship to the film.
I did like Patton Oswalt's thing though.
That was funny because I like it because it's so off the wall. That's kind of what I like. That's the kind of speculation that I like, where it's like this crazy theory. It's not trying to relate it to some other artwork.
Yeah, but like the section where they are relating it to the artwork, I'm like, that's perfectly valid. Like that looked to me like it could be. And again, like, it's just her reading of the movie. It's something we do all the time.
That's also true. And we're talking a lot of shit for people who are just speculating and just offering opinion. And also,
may I say, the screening I saw of this had a Q&A with the director.
Oh, wow.
And he said he's working on the origins of Texas Chainsaw, like the leading up to making the movie. Not about making. Yeah. But he was talking about how Tobe Hooper was like his interest in art and literature. So again,
I might. Well, see, this is the thing. Now that once I've seen this documentary he's coming up with later, that might recontextualize Chain Reactions for me.
But even if that never materializes, or even if Tobe Hooper had never seen a painting in his life, for a critic to go, hey, this shot looks like this Francis Bacon painting or whatever, I'm like, yeah, it kind of does. And the themes of these paintings and the themes of the movie and the visuals have similar elements, and It's how we read things. We see a lot of movies where we go, that's like that movie, even though the people who made the movie
have nothing to do.
But it's how you inform. Anyway, my ultimate point was I liked it a lot more than you guys. And the reason I did really enjoy it was because it was a celebration not only of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is one of the greatest horror movies, if not just movies of all time.
But it was horror filmmaking.
Yeah, and it was a celebration of horror movies in general. There's a whole section with Pat Oswalt where he talks about Nosferatu and how that affected him. But
imagine how that affected people when it came out.
Oh yeah,
to use the current lingo of the day, would have one-shotted some people. To use the current the kids' terminology today.
Would have been scarier than the train coming at the screen at the station, like people running out.
When he comes up.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
That would have destroyed people psychologically.
The thing with the shadow going on her chest and like getting the heart, that's still scary. Yeah. Like Robert Eggers is like, just reusing that stuff because it's like, obviously that's awesome. Anyway, the reason I did really like it was not only is it a celebration of the original classic Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's a celebration of film in general and how people like us like to watch movies and how it makes them feel and how it changed their lives. And what's the word I want to use?
It's transformative.
Yes. And how damn my brain.
It's everyone has a different view and different lens.
Yeah. It's fun listening to people, interesting
with
people.
With their own interpretations.
Yeah, talking about horror movies. Nathan, what are those like 5-hour documentaries called?
Oh, In Search of Darkness.
Yeah. Where it's just 5 hours of people talking about horror movies.
That is that's a whole reason to subscribe to Shudder for.
Yeah,
have a weekend and just watch like 15 hours of dudes talking about 80s horror movies.
Chain Reactions is just like a more kind of pared down version of that and a bit more arty, like in terms of its filmmaking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's not to like? It's a good movie. Good documentary.
My favorite parts were the Takeshi Miike. Am I saying that correct? Miike?
Yeah, Takeshi Miike.
I think that his was the best segment because I liked the way he, not only was it about him and Texas Chainsaw, but it was about the broader culture that was shaped around it in his local scene of Japan. Like the way that informed the way him and his cohort made films. That was the most interesting part. Because I'll keep this short because we did an episode on it a while ago. It got very self-informed and self-involved, and I didn't like that aspect of it.
But that's the point.
Well, my favorite part was Takeshi Miike talking about like not just him, but also like when he was growing up and the filmmakers of his time and generation, how it shaped the way they viewed film. That was interesting. And Karen,
I forget.
Apologies.
Yeah.
She had a similar thing where she talked about how it informed her cohort.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in like that video nasty era as a whole. Like that moment in time is super fascinating.
Yeah, well, just the way, it was a band and then it was, it eventually came out, and by that point, there was the bootlegs going around, whatever. So yeah, it's an interesting time, and it's fun to hear people talk about it. So yeah. I'll quickly talk about
Karen Kusama.
Yeah.
Apologies.
I will quickly talk about a non-MIFF movie that I had a chance to see an early screening of, Mr. Burton, which I think has already come out now for wide release, so you can see it. It's out now. It's an English drama starring Toby Jones as a teacher who takes in a sort of like smart but like unfocused young man and sort of shepherds his talents as an actor. And that young man grows up to be Richard Burton. So it's kind of like not an origin story, or it's a biopic, but it's not like here's Richard Burton's life. It's more like it's about this teacher and young,
the connection between them.
Yeah, and young. I think his name was Richard Jenkins before he changed his name to Richard Burton, and how he like it's like in the 1940s, 1950s, how the teacher shepherded the young man's talents and helped him to become one of the great actors. And yeah, it's a well done. It's a good mum movie, like it's a sort of quiet English drama. It's about a famous actor from the 50s and 60s, whatever. So, older people will enjoy it.
They'll be doing lots of Leo pointing.
Yeah. All the people who were in the audience were a lot older. So I was like, yeah, this is a target audience. But I think, yeah, if you like movies, like, obviously, it's an interesting story that I didn't know anything about. Like, I know Richard Burton, but I didn't know about his upbringing. And
in some ways, that's a positive, because it's like more of a you're going in without any preconceived ideas.
I don't want to give anything away, but I was like, oh, I did not know.
Spoiler alert: he lives.
Well, not for long, because of the drinking and smoking. My God, these people. But
that was the fashion at the time.
As was the fashion at the time. Like, it's also interesting because it's a period piece, so it's like Wales, the mining town, sort of, the smokestacks and the sort of low working class kind of family, and how Richard was like, living with his older sister and her husband and her children, and like trying to be in school but also make ends meet, but then he also wants to be an actor, and so he has to juggle things. I think it's a good movie worth checking out. It didn't blow me away. It's not like a must see, but I'd definitely say it's worth watching, and it made me want to revisit a lot of Richard Burton's work, because he did die pretty young, and even though he had a big career in a lot of movies, like...
Yeah, it's designed to do that. A big Richard Burton industry.
Propaganda,
It's fascinating you say, because this movie came out in a really timely way, I guess, because in the last week or so, we've started to have like some older British or UK actors pass away. And Terence Stamp passed away like yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like, there was a little article I saw that was talking about how actors of his generation and slightly before him, they grew up really poor. But they're much like, I'm presuming, Richard Burton.
Yeah.
But the arts community and arts establishment at the time allowed for poor people to make their way up into the arts, and that apparently, like according to this article, those mechanisms don't really exist anymore. So like people like Terence Stamp, who were poor, had an entryway into the arts that doesn't really exist today. So it's going to be interesting to see going forward if we talk about that, like that kind of the differences between.
That's also an interesting. I mean, the world has changed so much, and the industry has changed so much.
Capitalist hellscape.
Well,
I don't think we mentioned on the show, but recently was it Jackie Chan in the Q&A had a very rare Jackie Chan win these days when he mentioned about how the movie industry doesn't really exist anymore. It's all just business.
Yeah, 100%. He's right.
So it's like it's hard to make a good movie because the people making the movies, they just want money. They don't care about the art. So
it's not about.
It's interesting. Like
and Richard Burton, and he I think at a certain point, this isn't in the movie, but at a certain point, like he was living with Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris, who were all sort of working class, trying to break into acting, and who all ended up becoming famous. So it's an interesting point in history, and it's a well-made movie and good performances. Toby Jones is always solid. Harry Lorty, who plays young Richard Burton, was quite good. I can see a bit of Bond potential in his future.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe one day we could
get
see
Broccoli
him
on the phone.
Yeah, maybe one day we could see him.
That's not Broccoli anymore.
It's Amazon.
Jeff Bezos trying to cast his girlfriend as the Bond girl or whatever he's trying to do. His wife.
He'll be Bonded. Can you imagine that?
It's just capitalist hellscape is
and wife. Thank you.
That's what I said after I said girlfriend. I was like, oh yeah. We were invited, but we decided not to go.
The show comes first. It was on a Tuesday. We couldn't make it.
Sorry, Jeff. Got to see Weapons. Can't make it to the Bahamas or wherever they had it. Mr. Burton was an all right movie.
Very good. I guess we'll move on to our feature discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start our feature discussion anyway. I don't think I've ever been to IMAX to see like a MIFF movie.
No.
Like a normal
I
MIFF
think,
movie. Like
yeah,
a normal
I
movie
don't
release.
remember them doing it. Last year I was overseas, but the year before I don't think they had any IMAX.
No,
Did- have
we
you-
would have
for
been
MIFF.
we would have been all over that.
Depending
Have
on
you-
the movie. Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
been to IMAX to see a non-IMAX movie? Like a movie that was not presented in any way, shape, or form for IMAX?
No.
I don't think I have, because we've seen movies that have been like, you know, this is not the IMAX experience, but it's been like an IMAX presentation.
Enhanced,
It's been
for
enhanced
IMAX.
for
Yeah,
IMAX.
like not
Yeah.
filmed with like IMAX
Yeah, like we
cameras, but they
saw-
still have like an IMAX moment.
Like we saw 2001, and that was like meant to be 70mm or whatever it was. And that wasn't an IMAX presentation, but it was still a special event with the for IMAX.
Yeah.
But this was kind of just like a film showing at IMAX
IMAX,
for the
yeah.
film festival.
Very
and-
interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
at the start it says like this is not
Yeah.
an IMAX.
And I said to James, I said, that's not their opinion to make.
yeah, I mean at the end of
Excuse
the
me.
at the end of the
That's not their call.
Yeah, that's right.
At the end of the day, it looked and sounded real
Listen,
good. So.
If I'm sitting in an IMAX chair and I've got that mediocre IMAX popcorn, it's an IMAX presentation. You know what I mean?
And they're filling the screen pretty well.
Yeah.
For me, that's an IMAX presentation.
yeah, that's it.
I mean,
I
Because
guess maybe-
we're going to get the bottom 3 feet of the screen? Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe it's
well.
like a
If it wasn't-
liability thing. Like some guy's like, I didn't get my IMAX value out of this.
yeah, if it wasn't a MIFF movie, to be fair, I probably wouldn't pay to see these movies on IMAX.
Yeah.
So in that way, like, you know, this wasn't the premiere.
Was it full fare? Like, were you paying like $40 for these seats? I mean,
I think it was normal MIFF prices.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say because if they're charging MIFF, I'd be like, well, if
Well,
they're
that was the
charging
other
IMAX
question.
Yeah,
Pricing.
IMAX.
Do you pay extra for the MIFF pricing if it's at IMAX, or is it venue dependent? I guess not then.
I
That's
don't think
good.
so. I think it's all the same.
yeah,
That's
Doesn't matter
probably
the
part of the
venue.
deal they get, I guess, with, you know,
Yeah,
because you're also bringing more attention to the museum
and
and IMAX.
it's
if they have-
technically not for profit too, MIFF. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, support MIFF, people.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
That's
if you
it.
if
Support
you wanna
the
go.
Melbourne Film Festival.
Yeah.
Support ACME. Support your local arts and media
Mm.
as we, I guess, careen into a dangerous new world.
Yeah, well, it's good, you know, having seen. I've currently seen 17 MIFF movies, and I've still got a few more to go. And
is that including screeners?
yes,
Okay.
and it's good to watch real movies. I'll just say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're like, oh, this is what a real movie is.
Yeah.
Not, you know.
Well, yeah. As Nathan was saying, talking about careening into dangerous spaces. We
yeah, good
started
segue.
watching.
Yeah, so-
Exit 8.
Yeah, so we had an IMAX double feature of Exit 8 and The Toxic Avenger. We started with Exit 8, which is a Japanese horror movie based on a indie video game where you play as a character who's trapped in a like subway,
Like a backrooms.
A liminal space subway
Yeah.
segment.
you know, like the walkthrough of not the actual subway station, but like when you're walking in the tunnel to get to the
Yeah.
subway station. And
Connecting. Connecting.
Like a loop.
connecting,
Yeah.
walkway. And you get stuck in basically a loop of that where you keep going around and you have to spot anomalies. And if you see an anomaly, you have to turn around and go the other way. And if everything seemed normal, you keep going. And eventually you loop 8 times and hopefully you
exit,
make
yeah.
it to the exit.
Now, I've never played the game,
Mm.
but I really enjoyed this movie. Is it a contender for one of the best video game adaptations?
Well, this is what I want to... this is basically the basis for my Letterboxd review and what I was discussing with Nathan after we saw the movie is for me personally, I still maintain there's never been a truly great live action video game movie. Now,
And apart from Uncharted, I'm kidding.
get out. But now there are video game movies I love, like Super Mario Brothers 1993 is a masterpiece. Amazing.
But it's not exactly a good one-to-one video game.
Not exactly a
adaptation.
good
Yeah.
Mario adaptation, right?
Yeah.
You know, the first Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie, I think is a lot of fun. But it's like, is it a great adaptation? Is it a great movie?
Yeah.
I might really like it, but you know.
Yeah.
So you know, every time a movie comes out, like a video game movie comes out, like Detective Pikachu or Sonic, and people are like, this is it, the curse is broken, video game movies are good. I'm like, not really. Those movies weren't really
Yeah, because you have to separate it between being a good movie like Mario and being a good adaptation of its source material.
Exactly.
It's very hard to do both.
Yeah, and for me, there has never been a truly great...
I'm racking my brains.
Video. Yeah, exactly. It's hard, right? So after I saw Exit 8, I was like, I think this might be the first truly great video game movie. One, it's a good adaptation of the video game. Yeah. And two, it's just a great movie in its own right. Yeah. You don't have to know anything about the game or games in general.
It perfectly encapsulates the game's mechanics and the game's flow, and also has a good narrative.
Yeah. It also, you don't have to
know the game.
You don't have to know the game, but like it adapts the game. Like, okay, so to be fair, the game is very simple.
That's what I think I was going to say. Is it easy to adapt a game when the game is like 3 hours long?
So I will say, caveat, asterisk, in all fairness, the game is very simple. All you can do is walk and run, and it's set in a very sort of confined, limited environment that loops and some things change. But other than that, it's not a big open world. Excuse me. It's not a big open world. Yeah. It's not like a big sci-fi adventure, fantasy adventure. But excuse me. But still, they did a good job of
interpreting it.
The video game, but then also adding layers that make it a more engaging, interesting film. Yeah. Not only did they like take that environment of the white tiled walkway, but then they added elements that made it a bit visually interesting. And when the anomalies happen, which are like supernatural kind of weird, scary things, they're a bit more
fleshy,
fleshed out and visceral.
And they still all kind of relate to the narrative.
Yeah. Exactly, and
like the personal journey.
Yeah, and most importantly, they add a sort of character development, which is not and a story which is not in the game at all. The game is just you're a player, you go through the loops to end.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, you follow the main character and through his problems, the horror sort of ties into like what he's struggling with in his life, and then you see some other characters, which I'll try not to spoil, also having their own issues, which made the film, it kept it from getting boring because you're looping around the same environment. And it also, it grounded the film in a sort of human emotion, which, you don't really get in the game other than the fact that you're the player. And it's like, oh, spooky, whatever.
Yeah.
And, there's this very popular horror trend of looping hallways and whatever. There was infamously the PT playable teaser that Hideo Kojima
Fun fact, if any of our listeners have that installed on a PlayStation 3, they're worth a fortune now. They're connected to the internet.
My dumb ass, I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to download this. I've seen all the walkthroughs and tutorials. I should have done it.
Fun fact, someone manipulated the game and they found out that you're being followed the entire time.
I think because you can't look,
because if you look behind you, you're just turning around. So it's like that thing that chases you. It's actually behind you the entire time. It's super creepy to look at.
I think someone also like recreated the game.
Yeah,
like 1-to-1, so you can play it.
A version of it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a famous example.
Yeah, the liminal spaces are super popular with
That's what I was going to say. Like the Backrooms we've talked about before. It's something I'm interested in. It's become sort of a meme, but there are very specific Backrooms media.
House of Leaves.
Well, yeah, I mean
the OG maybe.
That's a whole other thing. We might actually have to do not only like a full episode on House of Leaves, not just a comparison or a short segment.
I wonder how the House of Leaves ebook fares. Like, is it because
I don't think you can get.
Is there an ebook version?
You can,
because it's like paper thing, right?
Because it's very.
It's
very.
I mean, this will take up the whole show, but so
yeah, I know what it's like.
You have to. You can't listen to an audiobook or like you have to. it's designed, like the way it's designed is part of the
designed to be
narrative.
a tactile experience.
What I will say is
the way you read it, like there's some bits where the words go around.
I've got it. We've got it. You can read the big chunky hardback.
Yeah, I've got.
I know what it's like. That's why I'm asking. Like, how would an ebook version work?
It's okay. I've seen copies of it. I guess okay.
I guess as long as you scan the pages in the same
House of Leaves is
format.
the only book that's made me physically uncomfortable.
It is one of the greatest
horror
things.
novels.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest things I've ever
literature?
read.
Yeah, it is literature.
It's like nothing else I've ever read.
Like you read about it. People read about it, and they'll say like, "Oh, it's terrifying," and you're like, "Yeah, whatever." And then like you're reading it, and the text does things which make you feel claustrophobic.
Yeah,
and it actually affects you psychologically.
It's multi-layered in a way, and it's engrossing in a way I've never. There's nothing else like it. It's incredible. Anyway, yeah, we could do a whole thing on that. But yeah, the Backrooms, obviously, specifically in this liminal space genre, is like super popular, and I'm really interested in it. And specifically, Kane Parsons, who is a young sort of YouTuber who's making these awesome Backrooms videos. And A24 has got him to direct a
youngest A24 director of all time.
He's
20 years old.
He was like 16, I think, when he started uploading the Backrooms videos. And I think he wasn't even 18 by the time A24 hired him. Yeah. And now he's barely 20 years old, and they've just started shooting the movie now, which has a really interesting cast. And I'm really hoping it's good.
One of the things that excited me about this movie was that it was pretty much all practical.
Yeah.
And it was there was very well filmmaking, lots of long takes, lots of like, it was very well made. So, and I worry that A24 Backrooms, is it going to be all mainstream in a bad way?
Yeah. So how do I... So Exit 8 being good gives hope to the idea that you can make a good Backrooms movie.
But it was also a Japanese film, and maybe the expectations of low-budget film to mid-budget films in Japan are different than the Hollywood expectations.
Also, A24 is different than, say, Sony or Warner Brothers or whatever.
There's still hesitation a little bit.
Especially because now it's become more popular, the more popular it gets. Also, what's really interesting about the Backrooms, Kane Parsons Backrooms videos, is that he does them all on Blender. Like, they're all animated. Nice. However, they're done in a photorealistic way where it's like found footage where everything looks super real. And honestly, like I don't know how he does it. Like, it's incredible. The lighting on it and the sound, so good. So I wonder how that will translate to when you're making a movie version. It's like, some scenes you can get away with doing CG, but I think they have to build sets. And I think...
directing physically is very different than directing digitally.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he'll have a team behind him that will help shepherd him through, making a live-action film.
Let's hope he makes the right decisions.
Yeah, but I think he for such a young kid, he's very, very smart and very, very creative, and the lore and stuff behind his videos is all well thought out. So I'm looking forward to the Backrooms movie. But yeah, in the meantime, Exit 8 scratches that liminal space Backrooms itch. And it also shows that you can make a good sort of liminal space Backrooms style movie. And you can also make quite a simple, confined movie, straightforward movie, but also make it engaging and sort of... keep you
solid filmmaking.
Yeah. And most of it looks really good, the production design and special effects and all that. There's a couple of dodgy CG bits, which,
it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a shame, but also it didn't ruin the whole movie. It's not egregious, and it's not throughout the whole movie. So that was good. But yeah, I think Exit 8 is really, really good, and I honestly think it is the best live action video game movie
so far.
Yeah,
we always have hope.
It has the perfect balance between adapting the game and staying true to the game, but also being a good movie itself. And like there are bits where it's like a POV shot and you're like, oh, they're doing the first person view of the game, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't feel forced. You're kind of like, okay, I'm in this point of view. and you find it kind of following the character around, and it doesn't feel jarring like a lot of video games movies can, when they bring in mechanics or angles from a video game. You're like, what are they doing? This doesn't make sense for the movie.
For me, again, this kind of just sets me on the path of like, maybe I need to investigate more modern and even classic kind of Japanese and Asian cinema. And like see what other that's another whole
Japanese horror movies is like its own.
Oh, not necessarily Japanese horror. I'm not going. Let's not go full kind of full Japanese horror. Like what is it? They have some infamous ones. I don't want to go full down that road.
Audition.
Auditions. It's Takashi Miike, which
what's it?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah. Tetsuo the Iron Man.
I don't need to go that far. No. But I'm like just more interesting filmmaking.
Well, I mean,
world cinema. Yeah.
I mean, not just horror, but any international movies are much more take a lot more risks than Hollywood movies. And
it's like what we always say: if we ever won the lottery, we'd be going to all the film festivals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, MIFF is the great place to see movies that you're like, oh, that's different. That's
and sometimes
unusual.
we get emails about, you got the Italian film festival, the Greek film festival. Like, I want to go to all.
They're always on the movies I want to see are always on a Tuesday night, and it's like I don't have money. Hopefully get to visit more, but
anyway.
Speaking of people who don't have money, we saw Toxic Avenger.
Hold on. Should we go to a break first?
Before we get,
we'll cut that out.
No,
it's all
leave
right,
it. The segue. You're strong with segues tonight.
Tonight I am.
Before we get into the Toxic Avenger, our second movie at the IMAX double feature for MIFF, we'll go to a very quick break, and we'll be back right after these quick messages. You are back on the Tuesday Review live on 98.9 Northwest FM. This is the Tuesday Review. Moving on to our second double feature of our IMAX MIFF experience. Mm-hmm. We watched The Toxic Avenger.
Not a verified IMAX experience.
Unverified IMAX experience.
Right,
unofficial.
Well, first off, we'll say we got given little Toxie masks, which is cool.
That was cool. The cardboard masks.
Little cardboard masks. Yeah. I thought, I can't bring this home because it'll kill my cat, but that's, she'll freak out, but that's fine. Yeah. Rosie does not appreciate The Toxic Avenger. But this was our second film. And it's, I guess, a reboot. I haven't seen.
It's hell of a palate cleanser.
So
explain to the audience, James, because I am not really familiar with this.
So Trauma Entertainment is a independent film studio from New Jersey who have been making like schlocky exploitation B movies for like 50 years, and probably their most famous movie is The Toxic Avenger, which is about a nerdy little guy who gets bullied and he falls into some toxic waste and turns into a big, strong, mutated superhero, basically. And he, gets revenge on the bad guys and whatever. And it's like fun, schlocky B movie with lots of violence and nudity and whatever. And there were 4 movies in the original sort of live action Toxic Avenger movies. There was also a cartoon series for kids, which is hilarious considering the content of the movies and Trauma's other output. There was like some comic books and toys and stuff. So it was like a big deal. And it's a very cult like following kind of type of series of movies. I had never seen, I always knew about Trauma and like their movies and Toxic Avenger, but I'd never seen them. No. I bought the 4K set of all 4 movies, which they released not too long ago. And so I decided to watch all of those leading up to the new one.
Do they come with Blu-ray discs as well?
Yes.
I might have to borrow.
Yeah, I got you covered. But and those, I really like the first. The first one was awesome. The second one was my favorite. It goes full Looney Tunes. It's like really crazy, like, he like rips a guy's arm off and hits him over the head with it, and then like, shoots, blows up a guy, and then the guy's boots are there.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like very over the top crazy, lots of fun practical effects, super gory, very exploitative with like, women and whatever, but it's fun.
As was the style.
I'm sure you're watching it shaking.
Yeah, I was like, I cannot abide by this.
Yeah, shake your head like.
Time to rewatch. Yeah, but Yeah, I really enjoyed the first two. The third movie, they shot so much footage for the second movie that the third movie is basically just like leftovers, like that's cobbled into a sort of story with some reshot like ending. It's not good, unfortunately. And then like a long time went by, and then they made the fourth movie, which is sort of in the vein of the first movie, very schlocky, but like turning it up to 11, just very, very poor, like everything's in poor taste. There's no
in a good way or a bad way.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, you have to meet the movie on its level. So there's a lot of how do I put this PC like for the radio, making fun of disabled persons, just lots of toilet humor, nudity, just over the top violence.
A movie for immature teenage boys that was developed in the area that it was. Yeah.
Okay, and I like that stuff. So to an extent, and also it depends.
Obviously, look, you got to, as you said, you got to take the movie at its level and in the time it was made.
Yeah. Also, if you're watching a trauma movie, you know what you're getting to. Like you don't stumble across this. I guess you could back in the day stumble across it by accident. But So the new version had been in production for a long time. It was shot back in 2021 or 2022.
Yeah. One thing I was going to ask you about actually, the film on if you look up the movie, it has the year of release is 2023. And so I'm like, did it have a release and then it just was put on hiatus for a long time and now it's kind of getting another wave of release?
It was shot a long time ago. They completed it, I guess, for the 2023. They were releasing it. It had some screenings for like festivals or whatever. But then no one picked it up for distribution. So it just kind of bounced around for a while. And now finally it's getting distributed, which is strange because even though it does, have that extreme sort of over the top gore and bad taste, sort of poor taste humor and whatever. Nathan and I were talking. It's like, Shudder at least should have released this. Like, why someone like this is not?
It's almost a perfect Umbrella film as well.
Which Umbrella I think did end up picking it up. There's any number
of studios you could point at and be like, this would be a perfect fit for their catalog.
But for years, for years hearing about, it's already shot, it's already filmed, it's already been screened, and it's like, no one's picking it up, and it's like, Terrifier movies do really well.
Yeah, we'll discuss
that.
But
there's no. Yeah, but why? I think Terrifier is a weird one, right? Because it's gory, it's violent. Some like me argue that it's also terribly misogynistic. But it's also this thing where it's so over the top with the violence and the blood, which is fine in America.
But so is Toxic Avenger.
But Toxic Avenger is kind of sexist in a different way. Whereas, like, some studios might be like...
This new one.
The new one's not as egregious as, like, the older ones or the 80s.
No, that's true. Yeah.
The new one fits comfortably in the...
It's offensive, but not to an extent where
it's also not Terrifier level.
Actually, no, you're correct.
It's gory in a comical way rather than in a violent way like Terrifier.
The whole thing is funny. So it's like even when something super gory happens,
it's like as you said, it's take the arm off and hit a guy over the head, and the guy's like, oh no, like
pull the guy's entrails out and like keep pulling him out like a handkerchief with
and then the guy's still not dead.
Yeah, and
thinking about it, it's an interesting one because it should be easily marketable.
Yeah. So it's weird that for years this was just kind of like bouncing around and no one wanted to release it.
What's Terrifier? Is it IFC behind Terrifier? Something like that?
Their name's attached to it.
Yeah, so Terrifier is different because it's a much like it's the production
company.
It's
also cheaper to make. Terrifier's also really cheap.
Yeah, I guess it's simpler as well. It's like just about a killer clown who kills people.
It's also one of those things where it's kind of just like the company didn't spend a long time or a lot of money making the movie. They're going to show it as much as they can. There's no risk involved.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's like Toxic Avenger. Yes, it might not be the most well-known franchise or whatever, but you don't have to know or have seen the original films to like this, to see this new one or enjoy it, which you guys can attest to.
Yeah.
And so it's just weird that they're like, oh no, it's too extreme, it's too weird, no one's going to release it. I'm like,
it's not even that weird.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is when a movie it gets like this reputation, and when you finally see it and you're like,
It's a superhero
that
movie.
was
It's not
a superhero
weird.
movie with more gore and swearing.
Well,
and
I think a part of the issue could be that the budget was $200 million apparently for the Toxic
Really?
Avenger.
that seems
Way
way too much.
From a quick Google search.
Okay, so there was Hollywood accounting involved in this
yeah,
movie.
If that's true, if it was $200 million, because that was just like an article I saw on Google when I Googled it. I didn't go into the details. That might explain why it was difficult to pick up.
Yeah.
Because like if we compare it to a movie like Terrifier, for example, the budget's tiny in
Nothing,
comparison.
yeah.
So it's like you can easily recoup that. Whereas if you have to shoulder some of that financial burden, that's going to be a little more difficult, especially when it's like.
No, the budget according to Cinema Blend was $500,000.
Oh really? That's hilarious.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So that seems a bit more realistic.
Yeah. So it's, but anyway, it's finally coming out.
My mistake. That was Google's AI being like,
well,
AI
there you
hallucinating.
go.
There we go. Ignore
There
count.
you
He's on the
go.
AI train.
No,
It's hallucinating budgets.
It was
for
just
movies.
know
That's why you
sometimes
always
you-
skip the first.
sometimes when you
AI
Google
thing.
something, it automatically comes up with its own little
that's
thing.
why you skip up the
the whole
AI
thing is a
at the
Peter
top.
Dinklage's.
I know. The FAQ on the IMDb lists $200 million.
I don't know. I'm not
So
sure I believe it.
I don't know.
Unless Peter Dinklage's fee was 175
I mean,
million.
Peter
and
Dinklage,
then-
Kevin Bacon's in it, so
Kevin
but
Bacon's-
I assume
yeah.
they would take a little bit of a cut to work on a movie like this. Elijah Wood's also in it.
It's
But-
interesting. So one lists $1 million, one lists 500,000, one lists several lists 200 million. So it's not. I don't know if this information is publicly released. It seems like people are just like being like bleh.
people could be just
Yeah.
be speculation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I doubt it. I doubt it's a very high budget movie.
No.
But yeah, finally it's coming out. It's coming out actually for a wide release in Australia next Thursday, August 28. At MIFF, it was like had an early screening. In Australia, it's being released by Umbrella, who does a lot of good work, and we've talked about before. And I was really excited to see it because it had been sort of not hyped up, but it's like I've heard about it for so many years now, and it's like, oh, this is never going to come out, and it's like, oh my god, it's finally coming out. I have to see it. It's also written and directed by Macon Blair, who is an who makes works a lot as an actor, and he's in a lot of stuff I like. He also he was in Green Room and Blue Ruin by Jeremy Saulnier, who's a director I really like, and I really like those films. And Macon directed a movie for Netflix with Elijah Wood a while ago. What's it called? God damn it, my brain.
Maniac.
I don't feel at home.
Oh, I don't feel at home in this world
anymore.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was really good. And
No, that's not the right one.
It's the one. Check it. The one with Melanie Linsky and
I know what you're
Elijah
talking
Wood.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good. So for this to be his next movie, and assumedly I haven't looked up any interviews or whatever. I'm assumedly he has some
relationship,
sort of relationship
a
to
positive
the,
relationship with
to,
Elijah.
to the original.
I haven't seen it, but that is the film. Yeah.
Or they really hate each other, but they know they work really well together, so they just stomach it.
No. I was talking about like his
I'm
relationship to the original movies.
Oh right, I thought you were talking about the relationship with Elijah Wood.
No, it's like, oh, I want to work with you again. No, I don't want to work with you.
I'm sure there are those kinds of connections.
They know
and
they
all.
work really well together, so they just stomach the hatred.
Yeah. But yeah, I used,
like Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah.
but then they haven't. Did they ever get back together?
Oh my man,
It's complicated.
like 15 times.
Oh.
But anyway. Moving on.
What was I saying? Yeah, I'm assuming Macon Blair has a affinity for the original movies, and so he wanted to do this.
You would have to.
And and also like so I was interested in like it wasn't just a Hollywood kind of cash grab. Like we're gonna sanitize this and just cash in on some brand recognition.
No, it was done really well.
So
for the most
I was
part.
interested in that. And I think the movie was really good. I mean, there's some
with
not
its
so
limitations.
good. Obviously there's some budget limitation, but that kind of works in its favor, especially when the original movies were so sort of schlocky and low budget. That's kind of part of the
fun.
The fun, yeah. So this one's a bit more polished. Which I guess is good for newer audiences who aren't used to some, schlocky older movies. But it's not full on like shiny, marvelly.
It's not as exploitative as it it would have.
It
been.
also, it's also
it's
not as
updated the
extreme.
humor for the times. It goes up to the line sometimes when it comes like there's the restaurant. Like that kind of it approaches the line but it's not outright sexist, homophobic, transphobic, or any of those things that it would have been if it was released back in the 70s.
Exactly, like it's pretty, it's not as crazy as it could be, or potentially as it should be, really. But yeah, it's still good. It's good for fans of the originals, but also, like you don't have to have seen the other ones to like it. It's not a 1-to-1 remake of the original, so it takes the general story. This time, instead of like a nerdy guy who gets bullied, it's Peter Dinklage's character who is kind of down on his luck and he gets sick and he can't afford his healthcare, and he has a stepson who has to take care of, and then he ends up getting turned into this
this disgusting creature with like strength
and healing abilities, and he decides to do the right thing and help people and save the city from the evil corporation who were the ones who denied his healthcare in the first place. BTH, I think.
BTH,
yeah.
It's not popular to be a healthcare CEO.
Well, yeah, it's timely. It's timely. Even though I guess it would have been written and shot before certain events. But yeah, I think one thing I really liked about it was it creates this dystopian kind of American like city that's like very polluted and crime.
In a way, it's very heightened, kind of like...
it's like a RoboCop-esque, like Detroit.
That's what I was looking for.
Everything's run down, and there's like crackheads and gang members.
And the corporations are the most important thing.
So I like that element of it. I actually really like Peter Dinklage's performance as the main character, Winston.
I do. However, I was disappointed to learn from James that it's not Peter Dinklage in the suit most of the time.
It's an English actress, I think, who's like, I guess, similar height to Peter Dinklage, who does like all the prosthetic work, and
which is like
80% of the film.
After he transforms,
their name should be top billing right next to Peter Dinklage.
And it's one of those things where in Hollywood, like you don't typically get stunt persons on the posters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like a credits situation.
Well, yeah, it's been a whole thing of like...
But when you're literally the face of the movie, I feel like you should be on the poster.
Yeah, but it's like face, but it's under all the makeup, and then Peter Dinklage does the voice, so it's like actually Peter Dinklage. Yeah,
I know it's no one's fault, and Peter Dinklage was very vocal on this too. Yeah. But I feel like they did them dirty.
It's definitely something that needs to change. Yeah. Like, there's the whole like stunt people need more recognition. There needs to be the stunt category in the Oscars, whatever. So really,
And Tom Cruise wins it every time he's up for it.
Well, unfortunately, at this point, they can't even do it because he'd just win, and all the stuntmen who have been doing it for decades would be like,
did you jump out of the plane onto another plane?
I like to think that he'd present the award every year.
Yeah, that would actually
kiss
be good.
The ring.
It's like we know you'd probably win, so you're out of the running, but you're there to present it.
Yeah,
but even that's kind of insulting because you got all these industry veterans, stunt veterans who would be so good for the... Yeah, but it is something that needs to change, like the recognition.
100%.
And especially in this where it's like, it is almost like a dual actor role.
Yeah.
But it doesn't ruin the movie. And apparently, from what I read, Peter Dinklage like shot everything out of makeup. And then the actress who's in the makeup as the Toxic Avenger, like as the mutated green guy, she kind of copied kind of what he was doing, and then he revoiced it all again. So it's like there is layers to it.
No, it was really well done, and I didn't know that until you.
But you circused it.
Yeah, you could.
Almost.
Because you couldn't tell. It wasn't like it was a bad Italian movie dub. Like it wasn't like
and it's not like you're like that's clearly not Peter Dinklage. It's like that could.
It could have been like, and again, the dubbing was really well done. I didn't notice it. So props.
That's well done.
Everyone worked really hard.
It's also really funny. I guess it's a kind of like got a Deadpool kind of vibe, but more extreme and more gory,
less self-aware.
But
self-awareness gets annoying after a point.
That's right.
The whole Deadpool shtick gets annoying really quick. Because Deadpool's always looking at the camera going, "What do I do here?" Wink, wink.
Yeah, but it's got to sort of, for people who aren't maybe familiar with the originals or something, it's got kind of an over-top, like, gory and, like, action and, like, silliness to it. But yeah, it was a really fun movie, very funny, lots of little gags, and we've talked about before how they don't make comedies, just straight normal comedies for the big screen anymore. And while this is technically a like superhero action movie,
I mean, it's action comedy.
Yeah, it definitely it's very much has a comedic element, and I appreciated the amount of gags, like visual gags and jokes.
Are we're gonna have the same conversation next week? I hope.
Well, yeah.
Speaking of that, listen next week. Please stay tuned next week as well. We're going to be talking about The Naked Gun, which is one of our favorite franchises, and hopefully the new reboot does well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, should we end it there? Yeah. I mean, Toxic Avenger was
good. Exit 8 was very good.
I hope they continue. I want to see at least one more Toxic Avenger film.
Yeah.
You know what? Because
hold on. If it makes $20 billion at the box office.
We'll say that as well. There is a end credits stinger after the credits. Callum and Alan and the other bozos walked out. Me and Nathan stayed till the end.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah,
I was just
and it's quite a long. It
goes for a few minutes.
Yeah, and then there's another joke like after that. So like definitely stay for that. But yeah, I think. Go check it out. Like
it's worth it.
It's fun.
Especially
if it comes funny.
If it comes to your local cinema, support it.
Yeah, and it's a bit different than a lot of the other movies we get, and it's closer to the spirit of those old trauma schlocky B movies, which I think that's the most important thing. Is it captures sort of that
energy.
Yeah, but also it's like polished enough where. You won't scare off everyone by showing it to them. Whereas if I showed the originals to some people, I think they'd freak out and never talk to me again. Whereas this one, I'd be like, watch this, it's crazy.
It's an introduction point.
Yeah. But I'd watch a sequel. I hope they do at least one more.
I hope so.
Maybe even
get Shutter on board. Get Shutter on board, for God's sake. Yeah, this is the bread and butter.
Yeah, they could get like just a tiny little bit more money and, maybe do something a bit crazier with the villains and stuff. Yeah.
We're all about out of time. Please tune in next week. We're having a big show next week. Mm-hmm. We hopefully have a guest on with some news on his feature film.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking, again, hopefully, touch wood, The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Instead of Leslie Nielsen.
Still same initials.
That's it. Thanks for listening, everyone. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. We want to hit 100.
Yeah, we're almost at 100. Just click subscribe. Don't have to watch anything.
No. We lost a subscriber in the last week. I will hunt you down.
Yeah, who was that? Well, I'm sure they're not listening if they're not subscribed.
Zales Craigers. He took me saying I'll fight him personally.
Actually, I wasn't there for the weapons thing, but I agree with most of you. But I think I had more problems than you guys did. Yeah.
You can catch this on all these podcast apps.
Yeah. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
It helps us out a lot. We're on some of the socials. We're not on Substack anymore for now.
Oh, yeah, they've fallen to the alt-right Nazi bullshit.
So we're not on Substack anymore. Don't follow us on Substack. We'll find a new avenue that is Nazi-free. It's getting tough out there.
I've been pushing Blue Sky and Newsmaster.
We're on Blue Sky, Newsmaster, Instagram,
I've been pushing for tuesdayreview.com.
Yeah, just the blog post we'll probably end up by just having to set up our own blog site.
Unfortunately, but we've talked about it before. It's like you're trying to network with people and grow, and it's like,
But anyway,
the world sucks.
It does, and that's about.
This is why we always start the show with a positive thing, and then we always end up in the same place.
It's not our fault that Substack is now a Nazi platform.
Everything sucks, and the Nazis are back.
I know. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week to fight the Nazis. Adios, cousins.